Ms. Murray said, "Thank you, Your Honor." The government calls Louie Bonsukan.
The law clerk said, "Please raise your right hand."
Witness sworn.
The court said, "Please state your name and spell it."
The witness said, "My name is Louie Bonsukan. It's Louie, last name, Bonsukan, Bonsukan."
The court said, "You may inquire."
Ms. Murray said, "Thank you, Your Honor."
Louie Bonsukan, called as a witness by the government, having been duly sworn, testified as follows. Direct examination. By Ms. Murray.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bonsukan.
Hello.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm the finance director for Lamborghini Dallas.
And what are your duties and responsibilities as the finance director at Lamborghini Dallas?
I help facilitate the paperwork on a sale of a vehicle.
How long have you worked at Lamborghini Dallas?
A little over 13 years.
Approximately how many Lamborghinis does Lamborghini Dallas sell in a given month, on average?
Probably an average of 35 cars a month.
I'd like to direct your attention to September of 2021. Were you involved with the sale of a Lamborghini in that month to a customer known as G Clubs?
Yes.
What was your role in that sale?
I help facilitate the paperwork on that sale with the customer.
Ms. Murray said, "Ms. Loftus, if you could please show the witness what's been marked as Government Exhibit BR 460. And scroll through page 2 and beyond." Mr. Bonsukan, do you recognize Government Exhibit BR 460?
Yes.
Have you reviewed this exhibit before?
Yes.
Generally speaking, what is in Government Exhibit BR 460?
It's a motor vehicle buyer's order. It basically shows the sale of the vehicle and who sold it.
Ms. Murray said, and just scrolling through a couple of the other pages of this exhibit, Ms. Loftus. At a high level, Mr. Bonsukan, are these business records of Lamborghini Dallas?
Yes.
Are you familiar with these types of documents?
Yes.
Fair to say it's a regular part of your business to receive and maintain these documents?
Yes.
Ms. Murray said, "Your Honor, the government offers Government Exhibit BR 460.
Ms. Shrofa said, "We have no objection, Your Honor."
The court said, "It is admitted."
Government's Exhibit BR 460 received in evidence.
Ms. Murray said, "Ms. Loftus, can you please publish page 2?
The court said, "And Mr. Bonsukan, if you would raise your voice and speak into the microphone."
The witness said, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor."
Ms. Murray said, "And if we could zoom in on the top portion, please, Ms. Loftus."
By Ms. Murray.
All right. Mr. Bonsukan, this is one of the business records of Lamborghini Dallas. What is this particular document?
The motor vehicle buyer's order.
And looking on the left, who was the seller for this particular car?
Lamborghini Dallas.
And the buyer?
The buyer is G Club International Ltd.
What is the date of this buyer's order?
September 13, 2021.
I want to look now on the left, the description of sale unit. Can you describe for the jury what type of Lamborghini this was?
It's a Lamborghini Aventador SVJ Roadster.
Looking to the right, what color was that Lamborghini Aventador?
It's red.
And there's a field called stock no, or stock number. What information is reflected there?
The stock number is a number that we give as a dealership to a particular vehicle that we're selling rather than using a VIN number.
So you mentioned VIN number. What's a VIN number?
The vehicle identification number, which identifies the vehicle.
Looking a bit further down on description of sale unit. Is there a VIN number listed here for this particular Lamborghini?
Yes.
And what are the last 3 digits of that VIN number?
Last 3 is 393.
What year was this Lamborghini?
2021.
Ms. Murray said, "Ms. Loftus, if we could zoom out and then zoom in on the box on the right, price of unit. Down to the bottom, please." Mr. Bonsukan, at the top, what is the price of this particular Lamborghini?
$829,999.
And then looking down toward the bottom, what is the total price when you add in taxes and fees?
$832,075.
Sorry. Could you read that amount again, please, sir?
$832,075.
Thank you. Ms. Murray said, and Ms. Loftus, if we could go to the bottom of this page where there's a signature line, please. Mr. Bonsukan, do you recognize the seller's signature here?
Yes, that's mine.
And what was the date that you signed this particular contract of sale?
September 13, 2021.
Ms. Murray said, we can take that down, Ms. Loftus. And let's pull up what's in evidence as Government Exhibit CT 38, 37, and 40. Mr. Bonsukan, starting here on the left, top left, with Government Exhibit CT 38. Do you recognize the car depicted in this photograph?
Yes, that's a Lamborghini Aventador.
And what color is it?
It's red.
Ms. Murray said, Ms. Loftus, we can take those down, and let's put up Government Exhibit CT 42 and 43, please. Which are in evidence. Starting here on the left, Mr. Bonsukan, Government Exhibit CT 42, can you describe for the jury, please, what it is we're looking at in that photograph?
This is the driver's side of the vehicle, the door, which is the scissor door, which raises up. Shows the VIN plate on the vehicle.
Can you just describe a bit more about how the scissor door operates, please?
So it hinges, as the scissor door normally hinges up and raises the door in this particular manner. Just like this one, rather than a normal door on a vehicle, which swings out. Like if you're opening and closing a door.
And the VIN plate that you mentioned, where in the photo on the left do we see that?
It's the black plate that's right on the scissor door.
Ms. Murray said, and Ms. Loftus, on the right where we have a zoomed-in portion of that black plate, that VIN plate. Can we zoom in on that even further, please, the VIN number? Mr. Bonsukan, what are the last 3 digits of the VIN number of this Lamborghini?
393.
Ms. Murray said, Ms. Loftus, if we could now, on the left side, pull up Government Exhibit BR 460 at page 2. And zoom in on the VIN field. And then on the right photo, similarly, zoom in on the VIN field. All right. Mr. Bonsukan. So on the top here is a zoomed-in version of the VIN of the car we were just looking at photographs of. Could you please read that VIN number, the vehicle identification number, into the record?
Z as in zebra, H as in Henry, W as in William, U as in umbrella, N as in Nancy, Z as in zebra. D as in David, 2, M as in Mary, L as in Lima, A as in Alpha, 10393.
And then looking at the one on the bottom here, Mr. Bonsukan. Which is from the contract of sale from Lamborghini Dallas to G Club International. Is that the same VIN number that was on the car depicted in the photograph?
Yes.
And based on your work at Lamborghini Dallas for the past 13 years or so, do you have an understanding whether VIN numbers are unique to a particular vehicle?
They are.
Ms. Murray said, Ms. Loftus, we can take those down. And let's please show the witness what's been marked as Government Exhibit GXGC 295, at page 10. Mr. Bonsukan, are you able to see what's in Government Exhibit GC 295 here, page 10?
Yes.
Do you recognize it?
I do.
How do you recognize it?
It has my name on it. It's a normal letter that I send out to a client along with the documents that we send out to them for signature.
Ms. Murray said, Your Honor, the government offers Government Exhibit GC 295.
The court said, any objection?
Ms. Shrofa said, no, Your Honor.
The court said, it is admitted.
Government's Exhibit GC 295 received in evidence.
Ms. Murray said, Can we please publish that?
By Ms. Murray.
Mr. Bonsukan, what is the date of this particular letter?
September 14, 2021.
And to whom is it addressed?
Mr. Horan.
Looking at the signature block here, is that your signature or your electronic signature on this letter?
Yes.
And generally speaking, what was the purpose of this letter?
It basically explains Thanking the client for purchasing a vehicle and then things that's needed to be done in order to facilitate the paperwork and then to instruct them to FedEx the documents back.
And does this particular letter relate to the contract of sale dated September 13, 2021? That we just looked at for G Club International?
Yes.
Ms. Murray said, Ms. Loftus, let's take that down and put up Government Exhibit BR 460 again, at page 5, please. What type of document is this, Mr. Bonsukan?
This is internal record for our dealership when funds are received from a client.
And what is the date listed on the top right of this particular document?
September 14, 2021.
Looking over on the left side, it indicates cash received from, do you see that?
Yes.
Who sent the money to Lamborghini Dallas, as reflected here?
It shows G Club Hold Company 1, LLC.
Continued on next page. By Ms. Murray.
And then is that crossed out in part and there is something written over it?
Yes.
What is the corrected name listed here?
G Club International LLC.
Looking at the payment amount here just below. What is the total amount of the electronic transfer from G Club International?
$832,000.75.
And the wire detail that's in bold below, wire from, do you see that?
Yes.
Can you read what that reflects?
Wire from Mercantile Bank for G Club International Ltd.
Ms. Murray said, let's go to the next page please, Ms. Loftus. What is this, Mr. Bonsukan?
This is a wire confirmation that's emailed to me from JP Morgan Chase Bank, which is our bank. That notifies when a wire was received.
And what is the date of this wire notification?
Monday, September 13, 2021.
Looking down at the body of this email, what bank was this wire received from?
Received from the Reserve Trust Co., Greenwood Village, Colorado.
And then a few lines down, there's a beneficiary and then a B/O customer. What does that reflect?
Mercantile Bank International, 644 Fernandez Juncos Avenue, 3rd Flow, San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Ms. Murray said, Ms. Loftus, let's go to page 8, please. If we could zoom in on the text. Thank you. It's a little hard to read, Mr. Bonsukan, but what kind of information is reflected on this business record?
This looks like wire instructions.
And can you read the bank name listed at the top here?
Bank name is Reserve Trust Company.
What about the beneficiary account name?
Mercantile Bank International.
And finally, for further credit down at the bottom, what's listed under MBI client account?
G Club International Limited.
And if you could read the last 5 digits of that MBI client account number for G Club International Limited?
10,103.
Ms. Murray said, all right. Ms. Loftus, can we please go to page starting on page 19 of BR 460? Mr. Bonsukan, do you see this email that is reflected here?
Yes.
Ms. Murray said, if we could scroll down, Ms. Loftus. This is part of a chain. We're going to start with some of the earlier messages in this chain. Looking here, thank you, Ms. Loftus. This is an email, September 9, 2021. Can you tell us who that's sent from?
It's sent from Max.
And to whom was it sent?
To Mike Durkee.
Who is Mike Durkee?
Previous salesperson for Lamborghini Dallas.
After the bracket external, what is the subject line of this email?
G Club Hold Company. LC 732 Lumbo SVJ Roadster.
And LC 732, what does that indicate?
That's the stock number in our inventory for this particular vehicle.
Can you please read the body of this email from Max to Mike Durkee at Dallas Lamborghini?
Hi, Mike. How much is the delivery to Connecticut?
And there's an indication of the type of email account that Max sent the email from. Can you please read that?
Sent from Proton Mail Secure Email.
Ms. Murray said, all right. Ms. Loftus, let's scroll up a bit, please, so we go later in time in this email chain. All right. Starting with the email at the top there from Max to Mike Durkee. Can you read the content of this email, please, Mr. Bonsukan?
It says, can you help arrange a delivery? Also, I should have the resolution and driver's license tomorrow. Please hold the vehicle. Thank you.
Mr. Bonsukan, do you know what the reference to resolution reflects?
Yes. The resolution is it shows who the directors or officers or members of a particular business.
And in the course of a sale to a corporate entity or a company. Is that the type of document that Lamborghini Dallas typically collects in connection with a sale?
Yes.
Why?
We want to make sure whoever is buying the vehicle is the one that's able to sign off for the vehicle.
Ms. Murray said, all right. Ms. Loftus, let's keep going in this email chain, please. So we'll focus in from exactly that through to the bottom of that email. So if you kind of start in the middle here, Mr. Bonsukan, because this is forwarded. Start with the email from Max again. This is September 10th, 2021. Can you read the content of that email to Mike Durkee, please?
Hi, Mike. Attached is the passport, which I'll text you the password separately. Also, attached is the correct entity name. Please reissue the documents with the corrected name. Thank you. Kind regards. Max.
And that email is forwarded to you, which we can see at the top of this portion. Do you see that? Mike Durkee to you?
Yes.
And what does Mike Durkee write to you?
Passport secured by top secret password, 123456.
Ms. Murray said, thank you, Ms. Loftus. If we could keep going up in the chain. All right. And now I'd like to focus on this bottom half from Mr. Bonsukan to a Max Krasner account. All right. Mr. Bonsukan, this is about a month later, October 19th, 2021.
Ms. Shrofa said, objection to the testifying.
The court said, you can ask him what date he sees.
Mr. Bonsukan, can you please read the date of this email?
The date is October 19th, 2021.
Thank you. And who sent this email?
It was sent from me to Max Krasner.
And what is the email address to which it was sent?
Max, MAXKRASNER @protonmail.com.
Who's Max Krasner?
Probably one of the agents that helped in regards to negotiating with Mike Durkee.
And negotiating with respect to what sale, if any?
The Aventator SVJ Roadster.
And that was the sale to G Club, is that correct?
To G Club.
Did you ever speak personally with Max Krasner?
No.
Did there come a time when you communicated with Max Krasner regarding the sale?
Through email.
You could read this email that you sent to Max Krasner, please.
Hi, Max. Here are the signed copies of the buyer's order, odometer, and dealer reassignment form I have received with the Wilmington, Delaware address. This was the address Mike gave to me. Once we have title in hand, then we will send it to you at the 162 East 64th. New York, 10065 address with signature required on the FedEx. We will be on the lookout tomorrow for the title. If we do not receive, then we will apply for a duplicate. Best regards, and my signature.
Mr. Bonsukan, what is a title as it's indicated here?
A title is a form given for a particular vehicle. Basically, it's the ownership papers of that particular vehicle.
And what, if anything, does Lamborghini Dallas do with a title to a car when it sells a car?
We reassign the title to the new owner.
Ms. Murray said, Ms. Loftus, if we could take that down. Let's go to page 9 actually of BR 460. We can zoom in on the top half so it's a bit larger. Mr. Bonsukan, what is this document, which is part of the Lamborghini Dallas records we've been looking at?
Shows Register of Directors for G Club International Limited.
And on this document, who is listed as the named director of G Club International Limited?
It shows Howren He.
Looking to the right column, personal details, what was Howren He's place of birth?
China.
And nationality?
British.
And further right, on what date was Howren He appointed director of G Club International Limited?
October 16, 2020.
Mr. Bonsukan, have you ever spoken with Howren He?
No.
Have you ever communicated with Haranhi?
No, please.
Ms. Murray said, Ms. Loftus, let's now go to page 12. What is this, Mr. Bonsukan?
This looks like to be a British passport.
For what individual?
For Haranhi.
Ms. Murray said, and let's go to page 18, please, Ms. Loftus. Again, part of the business records relating to this sale. What type of document is this, Mr. Bonsukan?
This is a shipment received from FedEx.
And what information or what documents would have been shipped using this shipping receipt in relation to the sale of that Lamborghini?
The title to the vehicle, the Lamborghini Aventador, as well as odometer statement. Some of the other title documents that's required to transfer.
Now, the shipping from field here indicates a certain company. Can you read what company that indicates?
Yes. Boardwalk Auto Group.
What affiliation, if any, does Boardwalk Auto Group have with Lamborghini Dallas?
Boardwalk Auto Group is our parent company. Under that group we have a number of dealerships. Lamborghini Dallas is one of them.
Looking on the left, can you please read the ship to information reflected on this FedEx receipt?
Ship to Attention Max, G Club International.
And the address?
162 East 64th, New York, New York, 10065.
Ms. Murray said, and if we could zoom out a little bit, Ms. Loftus, to see the ship date, please. Actually, the whole center portion of this. What is the ship date of this FedEx package, Mr. Bonsukan?
October 27, 2021.
And then looking at billing information here. Can you read what is reflected under Bill Transportation to on the bottom?
Bill Transportation to Lumbo 340. Your reference number, LC732.
And that reference number, have we seen that on other documents we've been looking at today?
Yes.
What information is reflected in that reference number as it's relevant to the G Club Lamborghini?
That's the stock number of the Lamborghini Aventador sold to G Club International.
Ms. Murray said, we can take that down, Ms. Loftus. Thank you. Mr. Bonsukan, in your role at Lamborghini Dallas. After you've confirmed a successful wire transfer or transfer of money and receive requested documents, what, if anything, do you do next?
I package everything up and send it to my accounting office for processing of the title.
And how, if at all, are the vehicles delivered to the customers?
Excuse me.
How, if at all, are the vehicles delivered to the customers, the vehicles?
They are normally transported via vehicle transport.
Does Lamborghini Dallas facilitate in the shipment of vehicles to customers at times?
Yes.
Ms. Murray said, Ms. Loftus, if we could please show the witness what's marked as Government Exhibit GC 504. Mr. Bonsukan, at a high level, what type of document is this?
This is a dispatch sheet for the carrier that transported the Aventador.
Is this the type of record that is maintained in the ordinary course of business for Lamborghini Dallas?
Yes.
Ms. Murray said, Your Honor, the government offers Government Exhibit GC 504.
The court said, it is admitted.
Government's Exhibit GC 504 received in evidence.
Ms. Murray said, Thank you. Can we please publish, Ms. Loftus? We could zoom in on the top half. First going through order information. All right, Mr. Bonsukan. Looking on the right, what is the business name that's listed there on the right?
Boardwalk Motorsports LLC.
And again, if you could just remind the jury the affiliation between that company and your store. Lamborghini Dallas?
When they created this account for Central Dispatch, it's the parent company of Lamborghini Dallas.
And looking on the left on carrier, what role, if any, does the carrier have in the shipment of a vehicle?
That's the company that actually transported the vehicle.
Under order information here, there's a dispatch date. What is the dispatch date?
September 22, 2021.
And the pickup estimate?
Pickup estimated date is September 25, 2021.
And what was the delivery estimate for this particular shipment?
Delivery estimated, September 30, 2021.
Looking at the top there, order ID, Can you read what the order ID was for this shipment?
LC 732.
Ms. Murray said, Ms. Loftus, we can zoom out and then focus on the next portion, please. Now, the vehicle information for this particular vehicle. If you could read the year and the car type and model.
2021 Lamborghini Aventador.
And then looking on the right, delivery information. What is the name for the recipient of that Lamborghini?
Max, G Club International.
And to what address was that Lamborghini for G Club International shipped?
373 Taconic Road, Greenwich, Connecticut 06831.
Ms. Murray said, may I have a minute, Your Honor, please?
The court said yes.
Counsel conferred.
Mr. Bonsukan, do you know what G Club is?
No.
Ms. Murray said, nothing further, Your Honor.
The court said, cross-examination. Cross-examination.
By Ms. Schrofa.
How are you doing, Mr. Bonsukan?
Good.
You work at Lamborghini Dallas, is that right?
I do.
Okay. Sorry about that. I can't see you. And you were the one in charge of this particular sale, correct?
I help facilitate the paperwork on the particular sale.
Okay. Is it fair to say that you don't remember anybody coming to view the car? Like you buy an average car, right?
Yes.
Nobody came to see it, right?
Not that I'm aware.
Okay. And you said that. Is it? Did I get it right that Dallas Lamborghini sells about 35 of these cars a month?
Yes.
Okay. And is it like an everyday car, or is it like a sporting car or a racing car?
It's, in the car world, called an exotic car. So there's not very many made. Enthusiasts that love the brand buy the car.
Okay. And people generally buy the car because it could be fun to ride in the car, is that right?
Yes.
Ms. Murray said, objection.
The court said, sustained.
It's not an everyday use car, right?
Not normally.
Not normally. Okay. And you've been doing this for 13 years, correct?
Yes.
And this was one of many sales you made during the course of your employment in Dallas, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So let me just ask you a couple of questions about the documents that you were shown by Ms. Murray over here. Okay. Ms. Schrofa said, if I could just have first CT39, please. You recognize this car, right?
Yes, this is a Lamborghini Aventador.
What does Aventador even mean? Can you tell us?
Aventador is the name of a model of a particular Lamborghini that was built. Normally they're named after a bull or a famous bull or a bullfighter.
Okay. And this is the car that you sold, right?
It appears to be, yes.
Okay. Could you tell us please what is this wire thing that comes out of the car for?
It's a battery tender. Basically, maintaining the battery as it sits in a garage. So it's fresh whenever the client wants to drive it the next time.
So do you normally do this if you're using the car every day, or do you charge up a battery when the car is not used frequently?
It varies. The car is, even when it's off, the computer systems are still working. So a lot of owners always want to keep a fresh battery, so they plug it up.
Okay. And you can't tell how often the car is used, correct?
No.
Okay. Ms. Schrofa said, I could have that taken down. And if I could please have put up VR 460. And 460 is the document that you received from Ms. Murray right here who did your direct testimony, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And she asked you for documents and you sent them to her, correct?
Correct.
You've never spoken to me, right?
No.
And you've never spoken to anybody else on the defense table?
No. No, ma'am.
Okay. And I never asked you for any documents, correct?
No.
Ms. Schrofa said, okay. So let's look at the next document. Could we look at CT38? And all of the documents pertain to this car, correct?
Yes.
And Ms. Murray asked you some questions about the type of door that this car has, right?
Yes.
And it's a scissor door, is that right?
Yes.
Does that mean anything? I mean, it's just a door, right? A straight door, a scissor door?
On a Lamborghini.
Ms. Murray said, objection, Your Honor.
On a Lamborghini, It is a particular characteristic of the particular model. Which would be the aventator?
It's just like a gimmick, right?
Not necessarily a gimmick. It's just a particular type of door that they have.
Okay. And on this car there is what is called a VIN number, right?
Yes.
And the VIN number is the vehicle identification number, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's fair to say, right, every car has a VIN number?
Yes.
A Subaru has a VIN number?
Yes.
And Ford has a VIN number?
Yes.
So as opposed to this fancy car, if I just went and bought myself a regular old car, it would have a VIN number, right?
Yes, it would.
Okay. So nothing special about the VIN number on this car?
No, just the identifying mark of that particular car.
Okay, great. Ms. Schrofa said, so let's look at, please, 295, GC 295. And if you could just scroll down. These are email exchanges you had about the sale of this car, correct?
Are you still scrolling? It looks like from Max to a number of people.
Right. And you've testified you never spoke to Max Krasner, right?
No, not physically it's just through email.
Okay. And you just emailed back and forth because you wanted the sale to go through, correct?
Yes.
That's part of the reason you have a dealership, right? You want to sell the car?
Yes.
And there was nothing untoward about the sale of this car, correct?
No.
You had no red flags while you were selling this car, correct?
No.
Okay. You testified on direct testimony about an email that said Proton, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You get emails from Gmail, correct?
Yes.
Yahoo, correct?
Yes.
Proton, correct?
Yes, sometimes.
Okay. So it's just like in any old email address, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you also testified, did you not, about a top secret password, correct?
Yes.
The top secret password was 123,456, correct?
Yes.
Ms. Schrofa said, okay. And if I could have that taken down and please show 295. Would you scroll down? I'm sorry. And these emails go back and forth all through your dealership until September, right?
Ms. Murray said, Your Honor, objection. I think Ms. Schroff is asking about a different document than the one that's displayed for the jury right now.
Ms. Schrofa said, 460 is what I want, please.
The court said, is this the correct document?
Ms. Murray said, It is, Your Honor, pages 19 to 22.
By Ms. Schrofa.
So let's start with page 19. You see that email that's right there says, Hi Max, we have. Ms. Schrofa said, There you go. Thank you. We have signed copies of the buyer's order, correct?
Yes.
Odometer and dealer reassignment form, right?
Yes.
By the way, sitting here today, do you recall if this was a used car that you were reselling?
It is a pre-owned vehicle.
Right. So it's by pre-owned. You mean it was used before, right?
Yes.
It's not a brand new Lamborghini, right?
No.
Okay. So this is a used car that is being resold to somebody, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sitting here today, do you know how old that car was?
During that time.
Yeah.
In 2021. So it was a 2021 model for Lamborghini and we sold it in 2021.
Okay. So how many owners had there been before it, do you know?
I'm not sure.
Do you know if it was more than one?
Possibly.
Okay. You don't really know, right? It could have been 1, 2, 3, you just don't know?
Correct.
Okay. And sorry about that. And at this point in this email chain, which is October 19th of 2021, right? Somebody is giving you an address of do you read this email as telling you where to send the paperwork or where to send the car?
To send the title.
To send the title, right?
Yes.
Okay. And do you send the title to that address?
I don't. My title clerk does.
Okay. And do you know what is located at 162 East 64th Street?
No.
Do you know what business is located there?
No.
Do you know who works there?
No.
Have you ever heard of a person named Milesgua? Have you ever heard of a person named Milesgua?
No.
Okay. Ms. Strofa said, if we could just scroll down, please. And there is a conversation here about the passport, correct?
Yes.
And you get a copy of a passport, do you not?
Yes.
And why do you need the passport, sir?
Gives identification of who the person that would be signing off for the company when they buy a particular vehicle.
Okay. And you got a copy of the passport, correct?
Yes.
And, of course, you did whatever you needed to do to verify that that was a correct passport, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then after that, Ms. Strofa said, if you could close that, please. You have an email that asks you if you can assist with transport. And then they said that assistance for transport can be provided, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And when you're transporting the car, you would only transport the car out of your dealership after the things on your checklist have been met, correct?
Yes.
You want to make sure title passes correctly, right?
Yes.
Registration, right?
Yes. We don't do the registration on a cash deal. But we make sure that the title is signed over to the correct buyer.
Okay. And you also want to make sure that the buyer has a driver's license, right?
Not necessarily a driver's license, just identification.
Okay. So you want to make sure that the person is properly identified, right?
Yes.
And you did that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And after you took all of those steps, you were going to ship the car out to whatever address they told you, right?
Yes.
Sitting here today, do you recall if the car was originally supposed to go to a different address?
No.
You don't recall?
I don't recall, no.
Okay. And is it fair to say that where a car goes also determines the cost of the insurance of a car?
Well, the shipping carrier, when we set up shipping for our client, we want to make sure that the shipping carrier, A, might be familiar with the vehicle in transporting a vehicle of this amount, and making sure that we have ample insurance to cover if something were to happen during transport for a client.
Right. But that is the insurance on the transport part of the car, right?
Correct.
Would you agree with me, as a person who's been in the car business for 13 years, that each state has a certain cost for maintaining insurance on the car?
I'm vaguely familiar.
Some states are more expensive than others, correct?
Probably, yeah.
Insurance depends on whether the car is placed in a garage or parked on the street, correct?
Ms. Murray said, objection, Your Honor.
The court said, sustained. The witness has said that he is vaguely familiar.
Ms. Strofa said, he might know the answer, Your Honor.
The court said, with that understanding he can answer.
Do you know if insurance rates differ state to state?
No.
Do you know if insurance is higher if you park the car on a street versus if you park the car in the garage?
It depends on the insurance company.
Okay, fair enough. Ms. Strofa said, could I have number 504, please? It's okay, actually. When you were getting ready to ship the car, you were given an address, correct?
I wasn't given the address. I have a sales assistant that actually does our transportation for us that works with the dealership.
Okay, so once you finish of the sale of the car, somebody else takes over to make sure the car gets to where it's supposed to get, right?
Yes. Normally, the salesperson and our sales assistant.
And would you know what is the markup on a used car?
The markup on a used car?
Yes, sir.
It could vary.
Do you know how much the markup on this car was?
In that particular instance, a Lamborghini Aventador, brand new 2021 model would be MSRP, manufacturer's suggested retail price, at $650,000.
Okay. And you don't know how long this car was sitting on the parking lot before it was brought out, right?
Not in particular. I could find out, but no. Not long.
When you were interacting with this person named Max, correct? He was telling you, or at least somebody in your office, where the car was going to go, correct?
Yes.
And Max, you understood, was part of G Club's, correct?
Yes.
And he represented G Club's interest to you when he was emailing with you, correct?
Yes.
And Max Krasner, from the emails, you can conclude, knew that the car was going to go to Connecticut, correct?
Yes. Honor.
Ms. Strofa said, okay. Could I have one moment, Your?
The court said yes.
Counsel conferred.
Who did you talk to when trying to figure out the final price sale of the car?
I didn't speak with anyone.
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Normally, the salesperson negotiates the price with the particular client.
So you have no idea how many times Max Krasner talked to the salesperson and went back and forth before arriving at the final purchase price?
No.
You do not know how long those negotiations lasted, correct?
No.
And do you know if Mr. Krasner or anyone else from G Clubs did an inspection of the car before it was shipped?
I don't recall. It could be possible.
Ms. Strofa said, I have nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
The court said redirect.
Ms. Murray said, yes, Your Honor. Briefly.
Redirect examination. By Ms. Murray.
Mr. Bonsukan. You were just asked some questions about how long that Lamborghini that we've been talking about was on the lot. Do you recall those?
Yes.
And you indicated it was not long, is that correct?
Yes.
What do you recall about the volume of sales that Lamborghini Dallas was doing during this time period? Fall of 2021?
Fall of 2021, obviously in the COVID times, vehicle sales were on a naturally aspirated engine. Which would be this Aventador. We're going like crazy because Lamborghini announced that they were going to start doing hybrid engines on their vehicles. So collectors and people that love this car would try buying it. Even if they're buying it for more than what the original MSRP is.
And you mentioned that the MSRP on this car was approximately what?
Approximately $650,000.
Ms. Murray said, and Ms. Loftus, if we could pull up, please, Government Exhibit BR 460 at page 2. And focusing on the final sale price of this car here. What was the final sale price of this particular car, this used car?
The unpaid balance is $832,000.75.
That's nearly $200,000 more than the manufacturer's suggested retail price, is that correct?
Yes.
And this was a used car, but it was the same year as it was ultimately sold to G Clubs, right?
Yes.
Ms. Murray said, Ms. Loftus. If we could zoom out on this and go to the left and look at the mileage listed for this particular car. It's on the top left description of sale unit. Mr. Bonsukan, how many miles were on this car when it was sold to G Club International?
317 miles.
Ms. Murray said, all right, Ms. Loftus. We can zoom out of that and go to the top again to the seller and the buyer names listed. Now, Mr. Bonsukan, you testified on cross-examination that you didn't know a person named Miles Gov't. Is that right?
Yes.
Do you know what the G in G Club International Limited stands for?
No.
Ms. Murray said, just a moment please, Your Honor.
Counsel conferred.
Ms. Murray said, nothing further.
The court said recross.
Ms. Strofa said, yes, Your Honor. Could you just leave that exhibit? Thank you.
Recross examination. By Ms. Strofa.
The Lamborghini that was sold, the red Lamborghini, right?
Yes.
That was almost a collector's car, correct?
Yes, could be.
It was actually an investment, correct?
Ms. Murray said, objection, Your Honor.
Ms. Strofa said, she brought it out.
The court said sustained.
The price was higher than a brand new car, right? You testified for Ms. Murray about that, right?
Yes.
And why was that?
Why is the price higher? Because it's a popular vehicle in terms of the Lamborghini world. When a lot of people were trying to buy these cars.
And they were going to change the model, correct? You testified to it on direct. Something about it going hybrid, correct?
Yes, eventually.
Right. And the Model G Clubs bought would only go up in value because they were going to stop making those Lamborghinis that way, correct?
Ms. Murray said, objection, Your Honor.
The court said you may answer.
Possibly.
Well, you testified on direct that if the price was going to go up, people were going crazy. They wanted to keep that model, right?
It would be a risk, yeah, possibility where it could go up. but it also could go down.
Right. But that is why people were buying it, right?
Yes.
You testified that they were literally hot off the parking lot because everybody thought this would be a collector's model, right?
Ms. Murray said, "Objection, Your Honor."
The court said, "That's a mischaracterization of his testimony. Sustained."
People were buying it during the pandemic nonstop, correct?
Ms. Murray said, "Objection, Your Honor."
The court said, "Sustained."
Did the sales go up during the pandemic?
Sales did go up, yes.
Of that red model, right?
Amongst a lot of other models as well.
Right. But the red model was included in the one where the sales are going up, right?
That's correct. It's a rare car of Lamborghini.
Exactly. Thank you. Ms. Strofa said, "Could I just have this exhibit made bigger?" And you see on the left-hand side where the description of the sale unit is listed?
Yes.
And it says used, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And when you go down, if you read further down on this document, right?
Yes.
Okay. The salesperson's name is Mr. Durkee. And that's the person on the email chain that Ms. Murray had you read about, correct?
Correct. Yes.
And he's the person who finalized the sale, right?
He would be the one point of contact of negotiating with the customer.
Ms. Strofa said, "Okay. And if I could just have that shrunk and the next page of the document shown, please." And this page shows you just an average sale of a car, no different.
Ms. Murray said, "Objection, Your Honor." Scope.
The court said, "Sustained."
The car that was driven off the lot was insured, right?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. And it was dropped off in Connecticut, correct?
Ms. Murray said, "Objection."
The court said, "Sustained."
Ms. Strofa said, "I'm done, Your Honor. Thank you."
The court said, "Thank you, sir. You may step out."
The witness said, "Thank you, Your Honor." Witness excused.
The court said, "Is that the last witness for today?"
Ms. Murray said, "We have another witness ready, Your Honor. But given the time, we defer to the court whether you'd like us to start a few minutes or whether we should stop for today."
The court said, "All right. I think we should stop for today. You may step out." One moment. Members of the jury, we have finished our work for today. Monday is Memorial Day. And so you're going to be returning to court according to the instructions that have been given to you, so that you'll be able to walk into the courtroom at 9:30 sharp. It's very, very important that you follow those instructions closely, and that you get here on time. Remember that you're not allowed to discuss the case amongst yourselves. Don't permit anyone to discuss the case in your presence. It's always tempting, once you start to hear witness testimony, to want to discuss the case, but that is absolutely prohibited. I wish you a wonderful long weekend, and I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday.
Jury not present.
The court said, "Please be seated. I'm going to ask that alternate number 5 be brought in. Is there anything that the parties wanted to raise?"
Ms. Strofa said, "No, Your Honor."
Ms. Murray said, "No, Your Honor."
Juror present.
The court said, "Hi. You're alternate number 5, right?"
Juror said, "I am." Yes.
The court said, "I received a note from you and you raised certain concerns. But now, with the understanding of the transportation arrangements, my sense is that your schedule can work with the second option that was discussed. Is that correct?"
Juror said, "Correct. Up until the point of where my child is finished school June 18th.
The court said, "And then?"
Juror said, "The summer plans will now have to be changed in order for me to continue to be a juror."
The court said, "And so that you can do that, you can make those changes?"
Juror said, "I haven't even begun to figure out what that would entail."
The court said, "Well, I ask that you work on that and that you return on Tuesday. Thank you."
Juror said, "Thank you."
Juror not present.
The court said, "All right. If there's nothing further, then I wish everyone a good holiday weekend."
Ms. Murray said, "Thank you, Your Honor." You as well.
Adjourned to May 28, 2024 at 9:30 a.m.